What's up, people? Welcome back to Emirates Sports and Reviews, and we are here with a new video. We are going to do my predictions for match day 6. We have a lot of high class games this weekend, and we do have a couple heated rivalries going on. Now we're going to start off with Liverpool versus Everton, and the Merseyside Derby is at 12:30 tomorrow, and this is definitely going to be a special one. Comparing to how they've been playing so far this season, the season started off really badly for Everton. Everton lost to Chelsea, lost to Aston Villa, they drew with Nottingham Forest, they beat Fleetwood Town in the Carabao Cup, then they drew to Brentford, and then they drew to Leeds. And then we had Liverpool in their last 6 games. Again, pre-season game, they lost to Strasbourg. Doesn't matter. They drew with Fulham. They drew with Crystal Palace. They lost to Manchester United 2-1. They absolutely destroyed Bournemouth 9-0. And then just Wednesday, they beat Newcastle 2-1. with a last-minute goal by Carvalho. So, both sides have had a very rocky start to the season. And just before we start, Everton's the home team, Liverpool's the away team. And the current betting odds, Everton are 15-2, and Liverpool are 3-1, with a draw at 17-4. So, do with the information as you want, but those are the odds on the winners. Now, looking at Everton and Liverpool's history, they've played 60 games. They've played 60 games. Both teams have been in the Premier League since it has been created, and neither have actually been relegated. So, saying that, looking at the stats on the history that they've played, Everton's only won 10 of the Merseyside derbies. And Liverpool have won 26. They've drawn 24 of these games. Liverpool have definitely been outscoring Everton. Liverpool have scored 85. Everton scored 53. Difficult. Everton have only allowed 19 clean sheets. So I'm guessing, obviously, 9 of them came from a draw. So, obviously. And Liverpool have allowed 24 clean sheets. They've only allowed Everton to, apparently, they've only allowed Everton to score probably twice in their in 26 of their victories, but that does not include the draws as well. So, again, 24 clean sheets for Liverpool out of 60 games against their Merseyside rivals is really impressive. And then, obviously, the yellow cards and the red cards, Everton outdoes Liverpool on those as well. So, and the last time these two teams met up, April 24th, Liverpool won 2-0. That says it all. And then Liverpool won again last season, 4-1. So I don't, especially the way that Everton are playing right now, I do not expect them to do anything spectacular. I am not hopeful that they will do anything special. Is that the right word I want to say? Yeah. I don't expect them to do anything special at all. It's gonna be a tough game. This derby is always the toughest game when they play each other. It's always down to a last second situation. It's always down to something out of the blue. So, Darwin Núñez is back, so that's the question of how their defenders are going to deal with him. He will be playing in this game after suspension is finished. Got suspended for headbutting. But I digress. But for me, prediction-wise, I give the victory to Liverpool. I've taken Salah out of my fantasy team, but I will say Salah will potentially score a goal. And I feel like the game will end 2-0. As badly as Everton are playing, I do think that they're going to somehow survive a beatdown and only lose 2-0 to Liverpool. Next up, we have Brentford versus Leeds United. Now, both teams have a okay-ish start to the season. Okay-ish start to the season is the only way that I can really go about it. Brentford starting off the season pretty well, 2-2 against Leicester, then absolutely destroying Manchester United 4-0, losing to Fulham in the losing to Fulham 3-2, and then beating Colchester United 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. So that was decent. Then they drew with Everton, and then they drew with Crystal Palace. So, it's not really toss-up of whatever. It's just, what do you do with that? But again, they've had a good, decent start to the season. And then you have Leeds United, who beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. They drew with Southampton 2-2. They destroyed Chelsea 3-0. They beat Barnsley in the Carabao Cup 3-1. Then they went and lost to Brighton, who are really good so far this season. And then they drew against Everton, as I previously said, 1-1. Everton's getting a lot of 1-1 victories here. Also, betting odds. Brentford are the favourites at 10-11. Leeds United are 4-9, and a draw is 13-5. So, hey, I don't know who I'll put my money on in this bet, so it'll be difficult. But these two teams don't really have that much history. They have genuinely actually only played 2 games, and Leeds won the first one game and they drew the other. And the first time meeting was last year, so it's very interesting. They did play at Ellen Road, and that's where the draw happened. But then when Leicester came down to the G-Tech Community Stadium, they won 2-1. So here is a very interesting one. Brentford, yeah, both teams are not in the best of forms. Leeds drew their last game. Brentford drew their last game. Although Brentford did get that lucky goal towards a well-worked goal towards the end of their game against Crystal Palace. So, I could see the transfer window did just close. I have to admit that. But I don't think the players that they probably bought yesterday, or if they bought anyone beforehand, Brentford will be able to get anyone in. Leeds have done some good business as well. I am going to actually say that it's going to be a very hard-fought game. I would say that it would be Leeds that will probably get the edge over Brentford. No, I don't actually. I'm going with a draw for this game. In fact, I am going for a draw in this game for Brentford versus Leeds. I'm not going to say a score. It's probably going to be 2-2. I'll say 2-2, but it will be a draw either way. Either way, 0-0, 1-1. It's going to be a draw, and it's going to be an interesting one going forward, just for the fact that we don't know what is going on there. But it should be a fun game. A fun draw for sure. Very, very fun. Now we move on to Chelsea versus West Ham. The traitor is, well, I can't say the traitor is back in London, but that's not true. Chelsea had a very, very good end to the transfer window. They got their striker. Aubameyang. Now, us Arsenal fans, we know about Aubameyang. We know how Aubameyang plays. We know what he does. So, interesting, right? It is very interesting to see him come. And again, Arsenal will be seeing Chelsea the 5th of November. So that will be a very interesting fireworks day. Right? Very interesting fireworks day. But both teams, West Ham and Chelsea, West Ham have, would I say they've had a better start to the season? Yes. No, it's difficult to say. Again, Chelsea beat Everton the first day of the season, drew with Tottenham, they lost to Leeds, they beat Leicester City, and they lost to Southampton. Thomas Tuchel has said it doesn't take much to beat us. That is saying something. If your manager is saying that there's not much that they can beat you, that is saying something, and it's very, very worrying. West Ham, on the other hand, they lost to Nottingham Forest. They had to qualify for the Conference League, which they did do. They lost to Brighton 2-0. They beat Aston Villa 1-0, and they drew with Tottenham 1-1. So it's a very up and down. It's a very up and down season so far for West Ham, for Chelsea. It's been a very up and down season. This is a London rival. This is a London rivalry game, and again, head to head, Chelsea has the upper hand. They played 52 games in the Premier League. Chelsea have won 28. They've drawn 9, and West Ham have won 15. Chelsea have definitely outscored West Ham in these games by 40 goals. Chelsea's also kept 10 more clean sheets than West Ham in these fixtures. So it's difficult to say. Very, very difficult to say who would win this matchup. The way that both teams are playing, it could be anybody. Now, we have Chelsea that won the game in April into last season. They won it 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. But then West Ham did win the first fixture at the London Stadium 3-2. Exciting games. Well, the first game was exciting. Second game, not so much. In my head, I couldn't give you an idea of who would win, who would take control, who would actually be the better side. With the signing of Aubameyang, with the midfield signings that Chelsea have done, it'll be interesting to see how it works. Aubameyang does have a broken jaw, so I don't know if he'll be available to play tomorrow. That's a very interesting one because you don't know. But going to West Ham, they've brought in some players. They brought in an extra winger. They've sort of tried to build their team to the better standard that they were used to last year. But they've added on top of the players that they currently have. Now, for this game, both teams are playing terrible. Terrible. Don't know why I'm doing that, but they're playing terrible. Apparently, according to Tuchel, doesn't take much to beat them. Sterling has been the talisman for Chelsea at the moment. Mason Mount's disappeared. Kai Havertz has disappeared. Ziyech has disappeared. Like, what's going on with their squad? Jorginho's, apparently, a lot of Chelsea fans are annoyed that Jorginho's still there. Who actually knows? But if I'm going to go with it and I'm going to give you an idea of who I would prefer to have playing and to win this game, I feel that West Ham would probably get that winner. It's going to be a boring game. I'm giving West Ham the win, the 1-0 victory. I know it's at Stamford Bridge, but I do feel that West Ham could beat Chelsea 1-0. Maybe more, but I'm going to keep it nice and quiet and nice and tight at a 1-0 victory for West Ham. Also, the betting odds for this game, Chelsea are obviously favourites at 2-1. West Ham are 4-21, so you can deal with that. And then a draw is 30-100. And this is actually on Sky Bet, so Sky Bet's going on some crazy ass odds. So yeah, West Ham's gonna win. I predict West Ham's gonna win this game 1-0. Hey, we'll see. Next up, we have Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace. Newcastle. I do feel sorry for you lot. I do feel bad for your fans because I'm not gonna lie. Liverpool, playing at Liverpool, and you lot had the 1-1 draw. 5 minutes added on time that went to 98 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. How does that happen? That happened with Arsenal back in the day when they somehow drew 4-4 at 104 minutes, even though there was like 3 minutes added on. Or 7 minutes added on, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, but it was something stupid. Anyway, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. I will just get straight into it. Newcastle's had okay-ish start. Okay-ish start. Let me just say that as it is. They've had an okay-ish, right? So Newcastle, they beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. They drew with Brighton. They drew with Man City. Got from being 3-1 up. They drew with Man City 3-3. Don't know how they let that slip, but I didn't watch the highlights for that game. But from what I'm seeing, it was amazing. And they beat Tranmere Rovers in the Carabao Cup. They drew with Wolverhampton and they lost to Liverpool 2-1, obviously, recently. Not that far away. And then you had Crystal Palace lost to Arsenal 2-0. They drew with Liverpool 1-1. They beat Aston Villa 3-1. They beat Oxford United 2-0. They lost to Man City 4-2 and they drew with Brentford 1-1. The odds for this game, Newcastle 20-21, Crystal Palace 5-13, and the draw is 5-12. So the bookies are sort of having Newcastle as the favourite. And like I said in my preview previously, Newcastle seem like they are the more closer finished product. Yes, they can spend money now because they have new owners. They have the money to spend. They have the moolah. But Crystal Palace, the way that they play, it's actually really beautiful to watch Crystal Palace play. And Zaha, you've got Patrick Vieira that's managing him and getting them playing the way that he wants them to play. And they do that. The defenders are always going ham, lights out. They are doing something special. But again, what they've done in the past, that's it. This matchup has been played 22 times. 22 times in the past. Newcastle have the 11 wins. There's 6 draws, and then Crystal Palace had 5 of those wins. Newcastle have scored 27 more times in these fixtures than Crystal Palace. And yeah. So last season, Newcastle won the second fixture in April 1-0, and they drew the first game at Selhurst Park. Now they're playing at St James's Park tomorrow, and for me, I could easily see Newcastle winning this game. No shots that Crystal Palace are not playing bad. They are not doing horrible, but Newcastle, they are playing very, very well. And for me, just the addition of Isak to that starting lineup, to that front attacking force. He scored 2 against Liverpool on Wednesday, but obviously one got disallowed. Not a lot of players can come straight into the print. Haaland's different. Let's not mention Haaland. Isak will be the game changer for this game. Unless Zaha, again, like I said previously, Zaha turns on the magic. And that's it. But with Kieran Trippier with his free kicks and defending, Newcastle's been doing really, really well. I want to say that this game will be a draw, but then I'd be lying to myself. I would actually give this game a win to Newcastle. I'll give Newcastle the 2-0 victory, 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. Just because I feel that Newcastle are there and they have actually spent their money really, really well recently. It's been actually really good for them. Now we move on to Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. Now both teams are just having a terrible start to the season. Terrible start to the season. Like, you can't make it up. So, first start of the season, Nottingham Forest lost 2-0 to Newcastle. They beat West Ham, but then they drew with Everton. Then they beat Grimsby Town in the Carabao Cup. Then they lost to Tottenham 2-0. And then they got destroyed by Manchester City 6-0. I think a lot of teams will get destroyed by Man City 6-0. Well, at least get destroyed by Man City. And then you have Bournemouth. They beat Aston Villa. They started off great. They beat Aston Villa 2-0. They lost to Man City 4-0. They lost to Arsenal 3-0. They drew with Norwich in the Carabao Cup 2-2. Then they lost to Liverpool 9-0. And then they drew with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, that's just rude. The betting odds for this game, Nottingham Forest are evens, Bournemouth are 5-14, and the draw is 5-12. these two teams have never met in the Premier League before. They've never met in the Premier League, so this could be an outcome of any standard. But for me, with the 22 players that Nottingham Forest did brought in, I think Nottingham Forest will probably have this win. I think Nottingham Forest will do the business tomorrow. I think Nottingham Forest, looking at the stats and the way that they've played and the players that they brought in, not a lot of them will be able to play. Maybe Batshuayi will potentially get a start or get brought on as a sub and score the winner. Score the winner. I say that the game will be 1-1 up until the 80th minute, and then the Nottingham Forest will win it 2-1 towards the end. But yeah, that game's going to be very, very interesting. Caretaker manager at Bournemouth, but a 2-1 victory for Nottingham Forest. Next up, we have Tottenham versus Fulham. It hurts my jaw just to even say the name Tottenham versus Fulham. It does. It hurts. It kills me. It hurts. I hate complimenting Tottenham. I do. I really, really, really do hate complimenting them. But they've had a great start to this. They've had a good start to the season. They beat Southampton 4-1. They drew with Chelsea 2-2. They beat Wolverhampton 1-0. They beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. And they drew with West Ham 1-1. Fulham have also had a really good start to the season. That is not a lie. They drew with Liverpool 2-2. They drew with Wolverhampton. They beat Brentford 3-2 with that last goal by Mitrovic, which was amazing. It was good for him. He's actually scoring goals, which I doubted him in my Premier League preview. They lost to Crawley Town 2-0, which was quite shocking, I have to admit. They probably played a lot of youngsters for that game. They lost to Arsenal 2-1, and then they beat Brighton 2-1. It's not a bad start for them. It was pretty decent. The betting odds for this game: Tottenham are 9-4, Fulham are 2-11, and the draw is 15-18. So, you know, it's all there. But Tottenham, I hate complimenting them. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Tottenham have actually done pretty well this season so far. Conte has gotten the players that he wants in, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they are winning games as they should. This game against Tottenham versus Fulham has been played over 30 times. It's going to be 31 matchup next time, obviously. Tottenham have definitely outscored Fulham by 15 plus goals, 11, 12, 21 plus goals. Sorry, I don't even know what the hell happened there. 21 plus goals. Tottenham have won this fixture 16 times. Fulham have won it 7, and there's been 7 draws. So it's not an even matchup, but Tottenham are expected to win this game. Last time they played, Tottenham won the game 1-0, and then when they played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I thought it was named something else. It was a 1-1 draw. This was 2021. That was their previous Premier League fixture meeting. Okay, whatever. That can't be right. That can't be whatever. Well, I'm not even gonna worry over it. So yeah, I am actually. God damn it. I'm gonna give this game as a draw. Fulham have been playing really, really well. I cannot argue with the way that they've been playing. They've actually done a lot of impressive things recently. No one expected them to start the way that they started. No one expected them to be able to keep hold to the standards that they've been playing at. And it's been quite shocking for a lot of people, but it does seem that Marco Silva has changed the way that they play a lot more, and they're ready for the Premier League. And even though I said that they're going to get relegated, they might actually stay up. So I might have to eat my words on this situation here. Now we have. I said a draw, didn't I? I did say a draw. So Tottenham Hotspurs, Fulham, draw, please. Let me be correct. I don't want Tottenham to win again. So next up we have Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Southampton. Southampton had the better start to the season, that's for sure. Wolverhampton in their last couple 6 games has been up and down. I'm not gonna lie, they've had one win. They lost to Leeds 2-1. They drew with Fulham 0-0. They lost to Tottenham 1-0. They haven't had a win in the Premier League yet. They beat Preston North End 2-1 in the Carabao Cup. They drew with Newcastle 1-1, and they drew with Bournemouth 0-0. Southampton, on the other hand, have had a decent, okay-ish start. They lost to Tottenham 4-1. Obviously not a great start. They drew with Leeds 2-2. They beat Leicester City 2-1 away. They beat Cambridge United away 3-0 in the Carabao Cup. They lost to Man United 1-0, and they beat Chelsea 2-1. So, explain to me how that even works. I don't know. But this fixture has only been played 10 times. 10 times this fixture has been played. Wolverhampton does have the 2 games extra on top by winning 5. Southampton have only won 3 of these games, and they've drawn 2. Goals in this game, they're even 15-15. They've both scored 15 goals in this game. And the last time they played, Wolverhampton won 3-1. And the last time they played, Wolverhampton won 1-0. So that is separating them right at the moment. So yeah, that says a lot, right? But both teams are not playing great. Wolverhampton are struggling at the moment, but Southampton, just because of the way that they've been playing, they're coming off a high, beating Chelsea 2-1. They should be coming into this game very, very happy, very, very pumped up, they're ready to go. They're going to be ready to go, and I will give this win to Southampton. I think Shea Adams and Danny Ings will probably score and winning this game 3-0 to Southampton going forward. Now we come to the 5:30 kickoff. 5:30 kickoff of Aston Villa versus sorry, this is going to be a short one. 5:30 kickoff between Aston Villa and Manchester City. Oh shit. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. But Aston Villa's had a very, very terrible start. They lost to Bournemouth 2-0. They beat Everton 2-1. They lost to Crystal Palace 3-1. They beat Bolton Wanderers 4-1 in the Carabao Cup. They lost to West Ham 1-0. And they just recently lost to Arsenal 2-1. And Man City have beat West Ham 2-0, beat Bournemouth 4-0, drew with Newcastle 3-3. They drew with Barcelona 3-3, but that's a friendly for some charity. They beat Crystal Palace 4-2, and they beat Nottingham Forest 6-0. The stats are, well, the betting odds for Aston Villa is 2-17. Manchester City is 7-2. And the draw is 4-19. Ladies and gentlemen, Haaland will score another hat-trick. He will get 3 goals. This game will end potentially very nasty for Aston Villa, which could be potentially putting... Oh my gosh, we don't even need to go over the last games that they've played. It could be disgusting. Again, the game's been played 44 times. Man City's won 28. Aston Villa's won 7. They've drawn 9. Man City's outscored them by 50 goals. Man City winning this game by at least 4 goals. Haaland getting another hat-trick. De Bruyne getting some assists. It's going to be an absolute slaughter. It's not going to be fun. Aston Villa's been playing absolutely terrible, and I don't know if that defense, the defenders are going to be able to hold up Haaland. They could just about hold up Saka or Gabriel Jesus. They were holding them, they were fouling them. So it's a is such a problem. So yeah, Man City. Next up, we have Brighton versus Leicester City. Brighton versus Leicester City. Now, to me, everyone should say, oh, this could be an easy win for... No, that's what we used to say. This will be an easy win for Leicester. But Leicester's been absolutely terrible. Terrible. Just absolutely terrible. I'm going to go straight into it. Brighton's had a better start to the season. They've won 3 games in the Premier League. They lost to Fulham recently. They drew with Newcastle. They beat Man United. They beat West Ham. And they beat Leeds. Leicester City have lost 4 games in the Premier League. They've drawn 1. And they drew with Stockport County in the Carabao Cup. I don't know what's going on in that camp at Leicester City, but it is not good. It is not good. It is terrible, and it is great bad. This game has been played over 10 times. Leicester City winning 6, Brighton winning 1, and there's been 3 draws. Leicester City have scored 10 goals more than Brighton, but the way that Brighton have been playing this year, it's all Brighton. Brighton will win. Brighton should win this game by 2 goals. The way that Leicester City are just not good at the moment. They are terrible, and Brendan Rodgers is managing job. His job is on fire. It is actually on fire. We don't know what's going to happen, but I don't expect them to... I don't expect them to be there come Christmas if they're still having the same exact results at this moment in time. It's just not good. Not good at all. Now we've got the final game of the weekend. The final game of this weekend. It is Manchester United versus Dios no. I should stop doing that, but I'm not gonna stop doing that. Now, Man United started the season really poor, losing 2-1 to Brighton, losing 4-0 to Brentford, but then they've been on a nice string of games, nice string of wins. Beat Liverpool 2-1, beat Southampton 1-0, and beat Leicester City 1-0, even though it was a bore fest, absolute bore. On the other hand, Arsenal have been flying. We have been flying. We beat Crystal Palace 2-0. We beat Leicester City 4-2. We beat Bournemouth 3-0. We beat Fulham 2-1. We beat Aston Villa 2-1. We've been really on par. The bookies have no favourites for this game. Man United's a 5-8, Arsenal's 5-8, and the draw is 2-5. So there is no actual winner for this game from what we're looking at. And looking at the game, this game has been played 60 times. Again, neither team has been relegated. Nice that. But United have won this game 25 times. Arsenal has won this game 17 times, and there have been 18 draws. Last time, Man United have actually outscored Arsenal 18 times. 18 more goals in these fixtures. Arsenal did win the last game at the Emirates 3-1. We did lose to Manchester United at Old Trafford 3-2, with Ronaldo doing Ronaldo stuff. Quite annoying, but that is what's happened. This game is going to be very interesting. Erik ten Hag has changed the way that United have played now. No Harry Maguire in the starting lineup, because again, since he's been taken out, there's been a lot of differences. They've been playing a lot better. Man United have been playing a lot better. Arsenal, on the other hand, yes, we have a lot of injuries. Partey's out for a couple of weeks. El Nenny's out for a couple of weeks. Zinchenko was back at training today. So there's a lot of positives there. Zinchenko can play in central midfield, which that's where we're lacking. Transfer window was pretty crazy. Arsenal brought in the right players that we wanted to bring in, and I'm happy with it. Whatever happens now, we just have to wait until January and bring players in that will suffice and will do the job that we need them to do. Again, we can go for Douglas Luiz, then we can go for Telemans in January. But I feel maybe Arteta and Edu thought that they'd have what they need. But Man United versus Arsenal, this is the true test for us to see if we are, at this moment in time, ready to get to that standard. Even though United aren't playing well, they show up always against us. They always show up against Arsenal. It's never a ball fest. These games are never dead. They're never quiet. So it's there. But my predictions for this game, I don't know. I can't even put a prediction on this game. I don't want to curse it. I don't even want to jinx it. So in my eyes, I'm going with a 3-3 draw. Just because I'm not jinxing this. I'm not jinxing it. So no one can come back and say that it was my fault. I jinxed it. I jinxed it our way. I do. Look, this game's going to be difficult. But a 3-3 draw, I will take. It'll be fun. Jesus obviously getting a hat-trick will be brilliant. But obviously we know that's the case. But for me, I don't know. Both teams are flying. Both teams have recently, well, Arsenal have been flying. We're 5 for 5. Can we make it 6 for 6? I hope so. If we can make it 6 for 6, that would be brilliant. It would be amazing, and I would love it. But going forward, I am not 100%. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. I just don't. All hindsight, I do want an Arsenal win. Obviously, I want an Arsenal win. Who wouldn't want an Arsenal win? If you're good at it, you don't want an Arsenal win, something's wrong with you. Yes, I'm going with an Arsenal win. Very tight game. It's going to be forget the draw. It's going to be a very, very tight game. It is potentially going to be it actually might be a 2-2 draw, you know. It actually might be a draw, this game. If Arsenal can figure out how to use our speed, the way that we attack against them, have a decent solid midfield against them once more, because Odegaard is day to day with his little knock. We could do business against Man United, but Old Trafford will be pumping. That is for sure. It's going to be a loud crowd, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But again, I actually do think it could be a draw. It could possibly be a 2-2 draw. I would love to see Arsenal win it 3-2. It will be amazing. It will be wonderful, and I think I will shed a tear. I'm flip-flopping with this one. I'm flip-flopping so badly. I'm so badly flip-flopping. But yeah, I am definitely going to go with a 3-2 to Arsenal. Difficult game, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. But anyway, those are my predictions for the weekend. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. If you do agree, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button. Again, hit the subscribe and share, and you know, let me know what you think, and I'll see you again next week. Well, for the next video, obviously. But again, thank you all for jumping in. And if you haven't already, Unheard Voice episode 24, KOD, the final episode of his series, is American football player going through injuries, and Unheard Voice is about athletes. So there we go. It's very interesting. If you do love your sports, check it out. But again, thank you all for jumping in. My predictions are set, they are done, and they are ready for Saturday and Sunday. So again, guys, thank you all for jumping in. I hope you all stay safe, have a blessed weekend, and I will see you next time. Emrich out. Peace.